Tesla plans to open a factory to produce battery manufacturing equipment in the Canadian city of Markham, Ontario. Mayor Frank Scaparrotti, I think that's how you pronounce it, apologies if I just butchered it because I do that, said that the Tesla, the electric car company, is going to produce in Canada cheaper, high-range batteries of the 4680 type. Brilliant. But dude, Elon, Australia, 9 out of 10 of the minerals that you actually put in the batteries come from here. Yeah, you've got big deals that we don't know about. Well, we know some of them, but most of your lithium and jazz comes from this country. So why not? Why not have a battery plant here? Do I sound desperate? Yeah. Do we want it? Yeah, definitely. Next up, and it's been a while, but let's talk about charging because look, Tesla has opened its network to non-Tesla owners and also Vicinity centers, I think I'm saying that correctly. They're like a shopping mall conglomerate. And they've announced a strategic partnership with low carbon energy company ENGIE to deliver electric vehicle fast charging stations in car parks all around Australia. Now, before you go snooze fest and click on fast forward, just hold up for a second. It is exciting because these guys are huge. They are seriously huge. They not only run like shopping malls like Chadstone in Victoria, sorry, a bit colloquial there for anyone who's not Victorian. They run Chadstone, not Chatty, well, we call it Chatty, stuff it. But they also run these places, which are no doubt near you. And in fact, across the entire country of ours, there's more than 60 of them. Awesome, right? So, fun fact, 66% of the Australian population live within 30 minutes of one of Vicinity's shopping malls. 66%. So that's why this story is important. In this deal with ENGIE, up to 30 centres across Vicinity's national portfolio will feature DC fast charging units that draw on renewable energy, key point, to deliver not just more kilometres to EV owners, but also they become customers at these malls whilst their cars are getting filled up. It's a win-win, I say. The deal is actually part of the Australian Renewable Energy Agency's Future Fuels Fund, or FFS. You know, this paper by this dude, who we all love to hate because he doesn't actually do his job. No, he does not. But it's awesome to see that the funds from this are actually going to something that's going to be extremely useful because goodness knows, you know, we need more rapid chargers everywhere in Australia, and this is very welcome news indeed. All right, now segueing over to Tesla, who have actually opened up their charging supercharger network, more than 25,000 worldwide, thank you very much, to non-Tesla owners in the Netherlands. But Australia could be next. Elon, you hear me, bro? All right, here are the details. People like me, because I drive like an MG ZS EV, will be able to access way more superchargers than we currently do in Australia. Yeah, basically there's not a lot. I've already said that, but I need to say it again. Now, because this is just in the Netherlands right now and being tested at just 10 locations, and when Tesla believes there isn't any congestion or wait times at the supercharger sites, then I will be able to actually go down to one of them. Again, let's just pretend this is Australia. But before I talk more about it, perhaps actually, let's go down to a supercharger and I'll give you a bit more context. That will definitely help. Let's go. I've come to the Moonee Pond Supercharger because I want to demonstrate some potential problems that may exist for people with electric vehicles that are not Teslas. For those unfamiliar, Teslas have the charging port on the rear sort of third or boot area of their car. And so most spaces you actually reverse into them. There are some exceptions where there's actually like a parallel one, but generally, yeah, you reverse into them, and the cord is only long enough to actually work with Teslas. So if your charging point is in a different location like mine, it could be an issue connecting it. So let's see if this actually reaches. No. That is not going to work. I've parked quite fairly center in this bay, so I think if I actually back it out, park closer to the line and up to the actual supercharger itself, I should be able to connect. So, take two. Okay, let's have a look, shall we? Yeah, right, well, I parked really close to the line, and you know what, that'll be super annoying to anyone who was parked next to me. First issue. Now, next issue might be if I can actually connect it, I guess, because that was bloody hard, and man, this one's really hard to actually pull out.
Many months later.
Success, okay, works, well, it doesn't work right now because it's not enabled in Australia, but hopefully it will soon. But at the sake of essentially parking way too close to your neighbour, wouldn't be an issue if I parked in the far right charging stall, so that would be like this one over here. But nonetheless, it is possible. So if you've got a Kona EV, check. Nissan Leaf, do not apply. You've got Chetamo, I'm so sorry. If you've got the Audi e-tron or the Porsche Taycan, they're located by the A-pillar just beneath them, so there'll be no dramas at all. Mind you, however, if it's on the wrong side, you don't want to park in the wrong bay and then essentially be blocking off 2 charging bays because you're actually using the wrong side. What I mean by that is that with Teslas, you actually pull your car up to the actual charger and you grab this and you plug it in the rear left side of the car. So if, let's say, I think it's the Porsche Taycan, it's got on the one side only, they come in and they actually have got the bay or the charger point on the other side. That means you're actually going to take not this one, the one you're supposed to use, but you would use this one. So effectively you would block 2 different spots. Could be combated by Tesla making the cables longer, could be addressed by you actually parking again at an end bay so you don't actually bugger it up for everyone else. Because of my Powerwall, I've got more than 15,000 Supercharger free kilometres. So if Tesla opened this up to Australians, would I be able to get those 15,000 free supercharging kilometres? I doubt it, but it'd be nice if it was possible. One last note before I get back to the studio is that cars like mine actually don't charge that fast. They're limited to 75 kilowatts. So me charging here would take at least twice as long to get the same number of kilometres, say, as a Tesla. Most others, like the Kona, the Porsche Taycan, Audi e-tron, Kia e-Niro, they've all got faster abilities compared to mine. So I'd be curious to see if Tesla actually introduces a potential time charge based system instead of a kilowatt hour system. Who knows? Okay, that was fun, wasn't it? To use a supercharger, your non-Tesla EV drivers like moi would need to download and create an account via the Tesla app, and it's got to be version 4.2.3 or higher. This trial is only currently open at these sites, and for my international viewers who are thinking, hey, I actually live nearby, maybe I live in the UK or in, I don't know, Belgium or a neighbouring place to it. You can't actually go use them. It's only open to people in the Netherlands at the moment in this trial form. When it does come to Australia, and again, remember it's got to be on version 4.2 or 3, watch this, you select charge your non-Tesla and find your supercharger site. You add your payment method if you haven't already. Plug in your car, select which stall you're at, so just check the numbering that's actually on it. Click on start charging, and then when you're all said and done, click stop charging, and that will complete your charging session. Pricing is supposedly really good, and if you don't join the monthly debit program, that's like a opt-in or opt-out subscription that decreases the price from 57 euro cents per kilowatt hour down to 24 cents per kilowatt hour, and that's just like 37 cents Australian per kilowatt hour equivalent. So that's actually really competitive, and for those who already actually own Teslas, your pricing stays the same, and the way you interact with the supercharger rather, also stays the same. So you just plug in, charge, and then walk away, and then it's a breeze. That's why Teslas are so awesome. The additional cost here that's going to be borne by people who don't own Teslas is to support, basically Tesla's got to integrate and allow this for a broad range of vehicles, and also make some potential adjustments to the sites, like what I demonstrated in that little piece I just did back then. And that Also, this is interesting little point, rates vary by site. So before you head to one of these 10 locations, you might actually want to check first that you can use it, that it's available and open to you, and then see what the charging prices are within the Tesla app. In this screen grab, you can see that idle fees are a very healthy one at €1 per minute. That's like $1.56 per minute, which is awesome because, public service announcement, these are not parking spots, they're charging bays. When you finish charging, move your car. Do not even dare park at it and not plug in and not charge. No. Public service done. And SydEV, I feel your pain, brother. I really do. I really hate people who are basically EV holes or ice holes. You know who you are. Yeah, charge, move, go. All right, moving on. Wrapping this segment up, I can't wait for this to come to Australia. I really can't. We've got like a massive country and there's not a lot of chargers relative to it. So by adding a dozen more sites with thanks to Tesla is a good thing. Now, if you are a Tesla owner, I would be curious to hear your thoughts. It should be known that Tesla drivers will continue to use these stations as per usual. They're going to be monitoring for congestion and ensuring that it's actually available to Tesla drivers when they want it. So great for holidays and things like that in times of peak use. Think Richmond Supercharger. That place is always busy. Like you can never really get charging there when you just rock up. There's always going to be a little queue. But the other thing here is that the way in which Tesla owners interact with the supercharger network doesn't change either, nor does it cost for them. So good move, Tesla. And also another good move, I forgot to say this, is that they're going to be getting feedback from Tesla customers, because let's face it, every Tesla that you buy integrated into the price of that car is a little bit of money that goes towards a supercharger somewhere. So this next step for Tesla actually fits very nicely into their mission. And in their own words, it's been Tesla's ambition to open a supercharger network to non-Tesla EV owners. And by doing so, it's going to encourage more into electric. And the motto, accelerate the world, and its transition to sustainable energy. And then look, there's also the other benefit here is that by having an account with Tesla, they obviously then know who you are and can market to you. But those Tesla owners, when they drive up and they pull up and they plug in, they're going to watch those other Tesla owners on how easy it is for them to actually just use the system. It's going to be a brilliant advert. It's going to actually entice customers to the Tesla stable. It really will. And another benefit is that those non-Tesla owners are going to be helping to pay for obviously the energy they use, but also for future supercharger locations. So brilliant all round. I think it's a win-win for everybody. Staying with Tesla, they've quietly added a larger battery to the Model 3, increasing its range from 448 kilometers to 491 clicks. That's like a 10% jump, which, if you understand how WLTP works, by the way, you need to then subtract like 20% off that figure to give you like a real world range of easily just over 400 kilometers, no fast driving, 110 kilometers down the freeway, air conditioner on, hot, windy, wet day, you name it, it's no fast driving when you work to the American EPA method, which, by the way, can't we all just sort of use for range with electric vehicles? That would be great. Anyhow, this range bump comes at no additional expense to people who are buying Teslas in Australia right now, and was kindly spotted by Veta Prime. The link is below, and they did a bit of sleuthing to confirm this fact. And so if you actually own a Tesla Model 3 and you purchased it or got it rather mid-October, can you check now to see how far your car will go when it's fully charged to 100%? If it's more than 450 kilometers when fully charged, you've got the new, larger battery pack. And for those with the long range model, the potential range might say now 614 kilometers. That's up from 580. Again, thanks to that 82 kilowatt hour battery pack, which has been bumped by 7 kilowatt hours. Meanwhile, for my American friends, I can see and I can hear your pain that Tesla over there has actually increased prices yet again on Model 3, Ys, and well, basically everything. In fact, man, they've done that a lot this year, haven't they? Now, the pessimistic Chris believes that whilst, chip shortage and shipping difficulties have been a thing for all car makers, Tesla as well, because the technology company, I've got to say, my feeling is that actually they're doing this in response to your incentive programs. You know, the government federal stuff, and then you've got state stuff. You've got so many awesome electric vehicle incentive programs that actually pay you cash to decrease the sticker price of that car. And look, we've seen a similar thing out here with private health insurance, which I'm not going to delve into today, but basically the government offered up 30% back to you as a customer if you took out private health cover. So what do you think the private health companies did? They increased prices, didn't they? And I think this is what Tesla's doing, because in Australia, we've actually seen price decreases over here. Yeah, not increases. So sorry to my American friends, and hope you're all well over there. And finally, an update to my and Kath's claim in the High Court of Australia against these guys, and how we will argue that the state cannot charge the world's worst EV tax. For those new to the channel, a quick primer. We are arguing that the state of Victoria lacks the constitutional authority to impose a tax on EV owners. The basis of this claim is Section 90 of the Commonwealth Constitution, which we will argue reserves the exclusive power to levy such a charge at Commonwealth level. We filed with the Melbourne Registry of the High Court of Australia on the 16th of September, so check out this video for more information on exactly the why, where and why sort of stuff. And orders were made by the court on 19th of October 2021, setting out the timetable for how things will proceed moving forward. What this now means is that the legal teams from both sides and the High Court of Australia have agreed on a set of what they call consent orders. That's basically like legalese for a written agreement that is approved by a court to govern the timeline for proceedings. So those things have now been agreed to, like by both parties, and endorsed by the court. Okay, so that's what that basically means. Of interest, the defendant, that's like the state of Victoria, they will file a written defence by the 12th of November. Like, that's around the corner, isn't it? And my lawyers will then have a week to respond by filing a reply to the defence. Now, David and Jack, they're the equity generation lawyers representing myself and Kath. They will then draft what is called a special case, which is basically a summary of the factual and legal issues that the court would need to come to a conclusion on during these whole proceedings. We hope that the argument with the defendant will be reached by like early February, like February 9 to be precise. And then if there's a failure to agree on the special case, then both parties will actually need to make further written legal agreements to the court to aid in its determination of next steps. Now, I've left a link to this posting by the High Court of Australia below, and I want to say to those people who have actually already contributed, like it's 582 of you out there, thank you so much. More than $40,000 has been raised for our legal fund, and I can't ask you to do more, but if you can, share this story. If you haven't contributed already, please do follow the link down below. We're going through Chuffed, and it'd be awesome that this gets successful, because you know what? This doesn't only affect Victorians, it affects everyone in Australia and in fact around the world. Many countries are observing what's going on here, and they're going to be looking to what the Victorian state government has done around this road tax, you know, that you basically tax 2 or 2.5 cents per kilometre driven for doing something that is actually better for your health, better for the environment, better for communities. And what do? They go and slog us with a tax that is just dumb on so many levels. I could do a big rant, but I won't. Again, go check out this video, and I'll keep you updated as per usual on this channel as things come to light. Okay, well that'll do it for today's episode, and if you watched to now, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't already, do consider subscribing, or if you want to see more content like this more often, consider joining me over here on Patreon, where you get all this, including news, polls, behind the scenes, and a lot more that I just can't show you here on YouTube. And I'd like to say a big thank you to not only just, all my patrons, they're awesome people, they really are, but also my producers, Adam Tyson, Alan Byrne, Ashley Hill, Bruce Hall, Chaotic Media Technology, David Lynham, MNICT Specialist, Nigel Farrier, and Tessa in the Golem. And as per usual, you be good and you be green.